Hi there, Candice Nitsigasan, Pagdausigaigan Cochinia. I am currently in my classroom, which is pretty empty right now. This is take 2 because the first take did not save. So I am going to redo the video for the conference. I probably will leave out a lot of information that I did from the first one just because there was a lot of oohs and ahs and and that. I am at work, so forgive me for all the announcements, interruptions that may happen and people that may come in. But anyway, so the conference took place November 12th to 16th, 2024 in Auckland, New Zealand University. It was called the International Indigenous Research Conference in Auckland. So it was pretty exciting for me to attend. We arrived, we registered, we got this big thick book, and we walked to the Marae, which is a meeting place to get welcomed in the way called a Pōwhiri. Anyway, the hosts were very kind, welcoming, and friendly, and we were surrounded by Maori music and songs and chants throughout the whole conference, which was, I don't know, in my perspective, I was immersed in the culture and I was immersed in the language, and I was where I was supposed to be. So the themes of the conference were based on empowerment, justice, well-being, sovereignty, sustainability, and resistance. So I attended many of the conference. I'll talk about the negatives first of the conference. I know it's hard to say that of such a magnificent place, but the conference itself there were so many options to attend, and it was hard to choose which one to go to. So I had to pick and choose. If I wanted to go to the same conference at the same time, I had to choose which one I needed to go to. Also, so I missed out on a few things that I really wanted to be at. And trying to divide and conquer amongst other delegates was hard because we never did exchange notes afterwards. So that somewhat failed. So don't do that for next time. And I've sat in some conference areas waiting for presenters to show up and didn't know that they were canceled, and needing to move on to the next conference, the next panel area. Mid-panel, it was just kind of rude to interrupt and go in. So those are the only negatives I can say, is just missing out on some areas and being too late or too disruptive for moving from place to place. But overall, the conferences that I did attend, the panels I did attend were useful and amazing and mind-boggling all at the same time. And I have to say, the ones that I understood and resonated with me the most were the ones presented for Cree language, or that were familiar to me. For instance, TP teachings. There was a group, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of the presenters. They did TP teachings, and I happen to have a TP here, right here, because it's on my desk because I'm at school. Anyway, they presented each pole value and then a teaching that went with it, and it was, a different style of teaching those teachings than I would have. So I really learned from that. I really enjoyed that. One of the main keynote speaker, she was a Pawnee lady. Her name, I actually have notes right here. Here's information. Her name is Abigail Echo Hawk. She is executive vice president of the Seattle Indian Health Board. Anyway, she's Pawnee, and the main thing that she brought, that I learned from her, is how crimes against Indigenous women are, thrown under the rug. They're left under the table, and statistics are changed based on, for missing and murdered Indigenous women. And she presented, they did their own statistics and their own investigations to bring light to the issue, And I liked how she utilized the ribbon skirt, the ribbons of the ribbon skirt to go through her teachings. It was very empowering. Um, it was very. I remember feeling the feeling I have right now. She was sharing her experience, and it resonated with me. The experiences that she shared, and I won't get into details because it's got a little bit personal. But anyway, I really enjoyed her presentation. Another keynote presentation that was surprising was I think it was the next day. It was on cancer. How the next day or the day after, I don't recall. That's the negative too on my part, is I can't find my notes. I mentioned it in my first video. If I left it here at school, and yesterday everything was in my class, all my filing cabinets, everything, but it's all packed up and gone. So I had no access to my notes that I made during the conference. So I'm just going off by memory. So the other keynote was, they did a study on a family and this rare cancer that they found in people, and trying to pinpoint, how to reduce the cancer in people, and like the extreme amount of work and the smarts that went into that. I'm just impressed by people who are just super smart and they just do amazing things for the people, and how that family is now flourishing because they only live to be a certain age. So, that one really touched my heart, because cancer is, I've lost family members to cancer, and like many of us have, but that was just found so full of hope. That one was full of hope. My other favorite panel, I guess, was, just the humbleness of one of the speakers. And she's one of the keynote speakers. Like, I've got notes right here because I printed it out. Her name was Pasang Dalma Serpa. She did the Indigenous Rights and Environmental Activist. She did something about her hometown as climate change, I guess, in her community. I don't remember, but I just remember her sweet demeanor and how she passionately spoke about how to, help her community. So, and then comparing it to other places. Her research is online, and I should have looked at that again, but her demeanor and her passion, I really enjoyed that one. And what else do I have? I already talked about these guys. So anyway, so yeah, that's it about keynote speakers. But the other main panel that I really loved, and like I was trying to circle the ones, I can't remember which ones I all went to. So I'm pretty sure I went to Enhancing Nihawiwan Languages Insights from a Review of a Community-Owned Undergraduate Language Program from Marilyn Schurt and Ross Krakowski. So I was really impressed with the program that I heard about. I'm interested in taking that program, and it has a lot to offer. And I really like the Master Apprenticeship program that's going to continue. And I didn't know as much about blue quills until I went to that panel. So I learned much more about it, and I could use that to share and help with promoting of getting students to attend blue quills. So that's cool. And it was around I don't recall the other one, so but I'm just gonna stick to my notes that I have right here. So the other one that I really enjoyed was, it's called a benchmark it's a Mari language learning. I'll find it. Apologies for the delay and everything. Oh yeah, I attended a story listening Mari data sovereignty in Aotearoa, Indigenous researchers' perspectives on fostering community capacity, engagement, empowerment, and research with Indigenous communities. That wasn't really what I was expecting it to be. They basically shared how it was to be a student, student life for Indigenous peoples. I am missing a page here. Maybe it's up here. Oh, yeah, it is. So, just looking at my notes from the other video I did already. So keep in mind, this is the second time. My first time around was probably better. So anyway, curating a Maori language benchmark for machine learning by Susan Duncan and Gianna Leone. Though that one, for me, was very empowering because, I'm always wondering, like, what is my measurement of Cree? How much Cree do I actually know? What's my personal fluency? I know I can read and write, but one's never said, well, this is how much Cree you are. You can't say that you're a Cree language speaker, teacher, or anything unless you met this mark. So that's what that very thorough assessment evaluation practice is about. The curating benchmark, a Maori language benchmark for machine learning. I don't know what it means by machine learning, but they were doing voice clips, and they were creating voice clips, and they were analyzing for pronunciation and accuracy of evaluating or interpreting language from English to Maori and Maori to English. So it was quite engaging for different age levels too. So I really quite enjoyed that one, and they utilized a variety of examples in their presentation, and they tag teamed, and yeah, it was just, I really loved it. I would probably go back and learn much about it and to see what I can utilize for Cree language assessment and creating a benchmark system here in Canada for language learning for any language, whether it be Cree, Dene, Haida, anything. So that was that one. And then another one that I liked was Kevin and Marilyn's. It was right after. It was exploring the intricacies of morphology, a comprehensive study of language structures and patterns. So basically, they're talking about the Cree app that they're working on, and they demonstrated using much of the app, how to use the app. So I'm teaching Cree in a different way with the app. I want to utilize that app, and they talked about Ituiwana and different ways to use the written language. So very useful information again for me, because I'm not fully fluent, but I am a language teacher, and I've taken every possible class and program not every, I guess, and I said possible program I can take in Cree, but I still have to learn more. I can still learn more. Other things about the conference were, the snacks, the coffee times, it was good networking with people. I met people from Australia, Finland, Yukon, different parts of Canada, even Alberta. Like, it was really neat to see how many Canadians I've overheard. Well, in one of the speeches, they said over 80 Canadians showed up. So that was awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the conference. A lot, like, if I were to attend again, I would plan being a better attender, plan for reviewing and reflecting on each panel pretty much after the panel day is over, so that it's, I can get the main points in, what I learned and what I want to use with that information sooner. And again, like, this is almost a year later where I'm doing this assignment, so the memories are a little bit skewed, but they're gonna live with me forever. How that whole experience of walking through the halls, all the different places to be, different rooms to go to, and interacting with so many people, having all the support of all the different classmates there and professors. It was, you never felt alone, and you never felt like you were away from home because you were surrounded by so many good people. So it was an excellent learning adventure, an excellent experience. So thank you Blue Quills, thank you everybody for having me on that trip, and thank you again for allowing me to present a video of what I've experienced at the in New Zealand. Thank you, and that's all for now. Who's this?